Alright guys, so I mentioned this slightly before. Uh, to break it down very quickly, if I were you, I would try to get a job at Guitar Center, but specifically I would try to get a job as their DJ instructor slash their audio engineer instructor. So get a job in the lessons department of Guitar Center. Here's why. Two different things. Number one, you get a discount on gear, which we'll get into in a minute, a little bit deeper into that. And number two, you get access to a lot of free things. Like I get Ableton for free because I am an instructor at Guitar Center. So, and I also get a ton of free training on all kinds of different stuff. Basically, all the plugins, all the synthesizers that you like and use, I either get for free or next to nothing, and I get like professional training from the reps that come in and show me that stuff. So I don't think that's as available to, say, a sales rep. So if you're selling DJ gear or you're selling guitars, I don't think it's as available to them as it is to me. I could be wrong about that, but if I were you, to make it simple, apply to be an instructor at Guitar Center, and if you're in this program, most relevant, the DJ instructor position. Now, if you can play guitar or piano, all the better. Just get in the instructor area, the lessons area of Guitar Center. If you can't, next best thing, take any job that you can get from the from this place. But I just don't think that you'll have free Ableton and other free and deeply discounted software applications at your disposal. However, every Guitar Center employee, as far as I know, just about every Guitar Center employee gets discounts on gear. Here's the cool thing about that. Not only do you get discounts on just about everything in the store, you get even deeper discounts if you buy Guitar Center brand music gear. So for example, as far as I understood it, Harbinger, however you want to pronounce that, is actually Guitar Center. So I bought this PA system for about $150. I think it was 140 some odd dollars. I got it for half the price. I then took this system, whoops, pardon me, mouse is going crazy here, booked a wedding, and the wedding was probably, who was there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, we'll say about 40 people under a small kind of outdoor tent. No big deal, less than 50 people. I was able to use this sound system to run a wedding and make double what this sound system at the discount costed me. So the cool thing about this is I'm showing you how to hack the system. You can get a discount on any PA system that you buy at Guitar Center if you're an employee. But if you buy the Guitar Center brand name stuff, you get an even deeper discount on it. So now I've leveraged this over the years to be a wedding DJ as well. Now, that doesn't mean you have to dress up in a tux and have mega awesome gear. I have, for my travel gear, the cheapest, lowest quality, in this case, I could have gone Pioneer, but just the way things happen, I ended up getting a, I think it's a Z1 controller from Traktor. So I literally run Traktor that came with my Z1 controller. And the Z1 controller can be a total solution in and of itself for simple DJing. If you hit the mode button, and then there's A or B for channel A or channel B. So hit mode A, and it starts the deck number 1. Hit mode B, and it starts the deck number 2. This controller is about the size of about 2 or 3 cell phones. So super small, super easy. So that controller, this PA system is about the size of 2 backpacks filled to the brim with books. So my point of saying that is it looks big in the picture. It's super small. This could fit in just about anybody's trunk, no matter how small your car is. The 2 of these are about the size of 2 backpacks. And this amplifier here looks like it's bigger than the speakers. This amplifier is about the size of 4 cell phones. Okay, super, super, super small. The pictures make it look way bigger than it is. So you take that, you take the Z1 Traktor controller. Let's just do an image search. There it is. Let's get a front view image. This is about the size of about 3 cell phones. So like cell phone, cell phone, cell phone. Now you're like, Mikey, how can you DJ on just this? I'm not talking about like fancy, awesome club DJing here. I'm just saying basic DJing. If you're gonna go from the Temptations to Billy Joel to disco to I don't know, Ariana Grande to some wedding love song. We're not talking about technical mixing and DJing here. So the way that you start your decks up with this though, you use your thumb to hold down mode and then you hit A. This side will start playing whatever you loaded in there. Let's say the Temptations. As the Temptations end, you hit mode and you hit B, and this side starts playing Blinding Lights by The Weeknd or whatever it is, guys. So it's basically for super minimal mixing, which I've never had one person at a wedding test me about my mixing or complain about. In fact, most of the wedding gigs that I do, I don't even beat match one song in a night. People have a better time that way because I'm not trying to do something that most people don't care about at a wedding, which is work my way into songs. If people want to hear Poison, I play Poison. If right after that they want to hear Ariana Grande, I absolutely do not think about how I'm going to work my way from 80s hair rock metal to 2018 commercial pop. I just go from Poison to Ariana, and guess what? Everybody's happy. If I go from Ariana to Luke Bryan country, One Margarita, I don't think about how to work my way from commercial pop to commercial country. I just let it rip. Ariana Grande ends. I start up Luke Bryan. I've never had anybody question that. Now, some of the purist DJs might say you can't do that. That's crazy. I'm making money, guys. I'm making money, and I'm not sweating it. So between the super small sound system that I got for $150, this Z controller, which nowadays you could probably get for pretty cheap, we're looking at how much are these wow, are they really that much? I'm surprised at that they're that much. But they are really cool, and they're really convenient. Like I said, that's about the size of 3 cell phones. So that's about the size of 3 cell phones. This is about the size of 4 cell phones, so one in each corner. Cell phone, cell phone, cell phone, cell phone. I take a laptop bag with me. In my laptop bag, I put my laptop, I put my Z1 controller, and then these 3 come with carrying cases, which are super nice, and they fit in my trunk. Super small, super easy. For a wedding of 50 people or less, it's good enough. It doesn't get crazy loud, but there's ways around that. There's ways of talking points to say, well, I am a lower price DJ because I don't need to rent a tux and because I'm not hauling back-breaking gear. I'm a small statured man, small framed person. I think soaking wet I'm about 135 pounds. So this kind of stuff, if I can carry it with one hand, most able-bodied human beings can do the same. We're not talking about back-breaking heavy gear here at all, guys. Not at all. Now, combine that with a set of speaker stands from Guitar Center, which I do not even have yet. But the cool thing about these speakers is that on the bottoms of them, they will be mounted to any basic stand. I do believe Guitar Center has their own brand name speaker stands. So, for $150, you probably hike up the price up to $200 if you include the stands. If you did want to go with the Z1, another $200, or you could just do like a beginner, Pioneer DJ controllers. We want to go for beginner stuff to keep it. Usually there's a shopping function. I guess we could do this. And go for a cheap one. Featured, sort by price, low to high. Let's just see, oh wow. I mean, something like that. I know that sounds ridiculous, guys, but like, if you're just doing weddings, they're not judging you on your mixing skills, and you're not playing one house music track or one future bass track after another. You're going from country to soul to the first dance, dad and daughter, stuff like that. So beat matching isn't really that important. You could even get this Numark here for $77. But let's just keep going here and see. Yeah, for 149, so you could save about 50 bucks, 60 bucks. You could get the Pioneer Pro DJ DDJ 200 Smart DJ controller and show up and on a small table have your controller and your speakers, your laptop, and you're good to go. This is a great way to make money, guys. And you know, people pretty much know what they're getting. If you charge 300 for your DJ services for, you know, let's say a wedding that's 3 or 4 hours long, yeah, you know, I think for the most part, people already know. But you could have a quick conversation and just let them know, you know, for 300, I do an affordable DJ experience, meaning I don't show up in a tux. No, I don't look like a slob either, but I don't show up in a tux. The sound system is not going to support, you know, a 200-person wedding. So you're a small-time wedding DJ. You do small weddings, and a lot of my stuff I promote towards alternative couples. So I just did a wedding the other day for a young couple. They were covered in tattoos and piercings. Of course, they love stuff like Nicki Minaj Starship, but they also love stuff like Pierce the Veil and I Prevail and Sublime and Rancid and a lot of the more punky, emo, metalcore, you know, Vans Warped Tour, for lack of a better way of putting it if you're unfamiliar with those genres. Vans Warped Tour and Ozfest-ish kind of stuff. They're not usually the kind of people that quibble about it because the bride had a nose ring with her wedding dress on and had checkered Vans on as her wedding shoes. So these people don't mind it because they get a great price. They get a DJ that's very down to earth that looks similar to them with tattoos. They don't want a DJ that shows up in a tux. I keep my prices low. And hey, it's kind of great for me too because I get to play stuff that I like that's outside of the electronic dance music genre as well, rather than the typical commercial stuff. So, and the other thing to think about that too is even if you're not like into punk or into metal, you have to remember, guys, they're going to give you a list of songs that they want to hear. You're going to ask for that. They're going to give that to you. And the other thing is typically those kind of people are not very uptight. So it's a great segment of the population to get your feet wet to weddings in as well. Don't take a wedding where they're willing to pay you $2,000, $3,000 and then be shaking in your boots because you're not an all-star MC on how to announce the bride and groom, how to announce the father of the bride and the bride's first dance, how to announce the groom and the mother's first dance, how to do the aisle song and timing, you know, things like that come over time. And when you're doing a 200, 300 person wedding, that's very different. If you're doing a 50-person wedding for, you know, bikers that just want to drink some beer and have some fun, they gave you a list of songs to download. You did that. You incorporate a couple of the classic wedding songs in there. Altogether, you know, between your sound system, your DJ controller, and everything, you spent well under 500 bucks. You'll make that back probably in the first wedding or two. And the other thing is, guys, keep in mind, this gear isn't just for weddings. You're also hustling and you're hitting up local cafes to spin jazz on Thursday nights. You're hitting up local smaller bars to spin for a dubstep night. You're hitting up local smaller bars to spin for a pop night. You're hitting up local smaller bars to spin an emo night, a 90s hip-hop night, emo karaoke. Anything you can think of, guys, to use this gear is great. And the nice thing is, I have two sets of gear. I have my low-quality going out non-EDM gear, and then I have my higher quality EDM gear that's a little bit more worthy of something like beat matching without a sync button. It's not to say you couldn't do that on a controller like this. It's just it's a lot easier with the higher grade gear. It's wider, it's bigger, you have more room, and it's not such a big deal. So with that being said, the last thing I'd like to throw your way, and probably the one thing we didn't talk about, is how the heck do you get started with buying music for a DJ, for a wedding DJ and stuff. The cheapest option I've found is eighthwonderpromos.com. The cool thing about these guys is, let's say you get, like I did, you got a gig at a local restaurant, and I could give you a few different stories. This website has bailed me out a lot with, I got a gig, almost a full-time DJ gig at a beachside bar on the Gulf Coast of Florida. Well, the Gulf Coast of Florida, they like a bit of country. They like everything, but they want some country. Guess what? Eighth Wonder offers country. Boom. So you don't need to panic and say, well, I'm normally a house DJ. I have some hip hop and some pop and R&B, but I don't have any country. Well, at Eighth Wonder, I think it's roughly about $10 a month. Most other DJ pools are way more expensive than that I've found. And aside from that, even if they're not as expensive, or excuse me, even if they match the price of Eighth Wonder, which I don't think too many out there even match the price of $10 a month. I think most of them are a little bit more expensive, 15 to even $40 a month. They don't offer the diversity that's here. You get a gig where they want rock, you're covered. You get a gig where they want reggae, you're covered. Country, you're covered. Alternative, you book a Christmas party with that gear, you're covered. Halloween party, you're covered. Let's say you book a local cafe and the owner says that she wants a little bit of everything, but what she really means is she wants oldies. Fun, bubblegum, stuff from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Maybe skip out on the druggy rock of the 70s. Fun bubblegum pop from the 80s, like Rock Lobster and stuff like that. And innocent current day stuff while mixing in some country music. And I'm speaking from direct experience here. This owner said she wanted a little bit of everything. She did not want a little bit of everything. She loves country, so I'm going to play country to keep her happy. And the patrons like it as well. But what she really wanted was found in this tab here, decades. She wanted stuff from the 40s and 50s, 50s and 60s, 60s and 70s to a degree, but skip out on the druggy rock stuff and the trippy stuff. What she really wanted from this era was like bubblegum Beatles, The Temptations, fun soul that you've heard, Twist and Shout, Chuck Berry, stuff like that. 80s bubblegum pop, Take On Me, Karma Chameleon, stuff like that. 90s are kind of tricky for bubblegummy kind of stuff because it was the time of like TLC and like Waterfall and kind of songs like that aren't necessarily as happy, even though they were pop hits. So I found that in this venue it doesn't go over so well, but you can do stuff from the more current decades as well, like Katy Perry, happier songs from Katy Perry, some songs from Pink, Get the Party Started, stuff like that. Just fun, fairly family-friendly stuff that doesn't suggest too heavy of a subject matter. So Eighth Wonder is where you're going to get your music. You'll play it on your super cheap, low-cost Pioneer controller. You'll play that through a fairly cheap sound system, which, by the way, you could buy the big brother of this that retails for about $500 or $600 and probably get it for about $250 or $300. And that's the mistake I made. Had I gotten the big brother, I'd venture to say, I mean, I've never played on the bigger version of this, but if this one's $150 with the discount, and the next level up would be $300 with the discount because the general retail price is about $600, you'd probably be good for just about any darn wedding you ever played ever. And especially if you got speaker stands so that the sound can travel a little bit better, you probably would definitely be good. So if you can spring for a $300 bigger brother sound system of this one, you'd definitely be good. And let me just see if I can do a quick search out on that and see. Yeah, so you got to be careful because it can get pretty expensive pretty quick. Was this it maybe? Powered speaker package. So these are powered speakers, meaning this guy, the amplifier that comes with this sound system, is actually built into the speakers. You guys should know that from your recording studio talks and stuff from this academy. So right here, guys, for $550, which with your Guitar Center discount, you should be able to get that for about, I don't know, $200, $250, maybe $300, somewhere around there. And keep in mind, like, this one's tempting because there's a subwoofer with it. But here's the thing, guys. If you have the money, you can spring for that. I guess that's okay. But a wedding is not a nightclub, so you don't have to really deliver such heavy bass. I mean, unless you specifically get booked by, like, a couple that loves dubstep and are specifically booking you for bass heavy dubstep. In that case, I'd either have a talk with them and be like, this is my sound system. It's not going to sound like EDC, but I can make it sound like EDC if I charge you an extra, whatever you think is fair. What I would do, if they're happy to pay extra, I would either go for the upgraded 15-inch speakers instead of the 12-inch, or see what it costs to add on the subwoofer offered in this package, which roughly speaking looks like it's about roughly $500 or so. So I would say for an extra $500, we can get you a little bit closer to that EDC experience of heavy bass, because a subwoofer obviously is going to provide that. If they're happy to pay that, there you go. If they're not happy to pay that, just let them know up front. I have a modest sound system. I'm happy to play dubstep for your wedding, but it's not gonna melt your face. But the reason why I clicked on this, I digress, is because if we can look at where are the specs for this, a lot of times these speakers go low enough for a general wedding experience. And I'm just looking to see what the range is. Click here to read more. I'm surprised they don't have the range. They even had the range on my little guy that I bought. And even my little guy, which actually is this one here, these speakers did great on Saturday. I played WAP by Cardi B, surprisingly the super clean version, because ironically enough kids requested it. I played some hip-hop, I played the Dougie and stuff, just kind of hip-hop, stuff that has bass in it. And these speakers handled it pretty darn good for being the size of basically small MIDI controllers, or like a backpack, size of a backpack that's filled with books. They handled it pretty good. I mean, I won't say that it shook the walls, certainly not, but it delivered an experience for 50 people that was about what it needed to be, as long as people's expectations are reasonable, But at a wedding, people drink and sometimes have a problem being reasonable. I wish that these speakers would show what the range was, but I'm sure if you go in or just call them and ask, they can tell you. But my smaller system was about full range, or at least enough for a wedding. I think it was 40 hertz, which much below 40 isn't needed anyways. It's all kind of muddy rumble under 40. Up to probably the usual higher end hearing range of like 20 kilohertz. Yeah, there you go. Full frequency response, 40 to 20. That's more than what you need, guys. I mean, that's fine right there. That's what, generally speaking, recording studio monitors are anyways. Like my Yamaha HS80s, they're the same. So you should be fine with that, guys. But that's a quick, easy way to basically start a local DJ business where you charge anywhere between $20 an hour to $50 an hour. And then for a wedding, because it's a special event that will likely be a one-and-done kind of thing, charge $100 an hour. If a restaurant approaches you and they want you to play jazz on a Thursday night, do it for between $20 and $50 an hour. And if a wedding approaches you, just if they don't care what you play, then obviously you can make it a little bit cheaper because you have all the wedding music. Because every Monday you download 10 or 20 songs from weddings. Now, how do you download 10 or 20 songs and know which ones to download? I'll show you in a minute. But weddings you charge more for, because that couple's going to get married and ride off into the sunset. Cafes and bars you charge a little less because you're going to be doing it every week, every other week, every month. And you can charge anywhere between, I'd say, $20 an hour to $50 an hour. Maybe even a little bit more than that. It just depends on your city and where you're at. If you're in a smaller city, don't scare off a bar owner that wants to give you an easy gig on a Thursday night. Like, just play rock music. That's not hard because you don't even need to mix it, guys. You could probably even make a mix at home and chop off half of your night with a pre-recorded mix. Or if you needed to take a break, have a pre-recorded, pre-made rock mix ready, so when you go to take a break for a half an hour, rock music is still playing. So little things like that, for $20 an hour, I would do it. For $50 an hour, I would definitely do it. That's 5 months of paid subscription to Eighth Wonder. Now, how do you find wedding songs? Well, it could be easy as this. Top 100 wedding songs. Easy, reception wedding songs. Use Google, you know how to do that. Shazam. Great. Uptown Funk, Earth, Wind & Fire, September, Don't Stop Believin', Journey. Easy peasy, guys. There's the makings to become a basic wedding DJ. You'll ask them for a list of songs. You'll take that list. You'll search for it here. If not, you can find other ways, I'm sure, to get songs that Eighth Wonder does not have. That's on you. And I think you know what I mean by that. And then the other thing about that is you can ask them. I've had plenty of weddings where they don't even want me to be on the mic. It's so relaxed, they just want me to play music so people can dance, and that's it. Or they change their mind at the last minute and they want me to make an announcement, so I cut the music and I scream over 50 people, someone needs to move their car, or friends and family, please direct your attention to the front, the bride and groom are going to cut the cake. You don't need a microphone for that for 50 people under a tent. And have a cheap microphone on hand plugged into your little amplifier. I usually go in channel 2 here. Right there, I plug it in. I run my my Z1 controller out of here, whatever that would be, channel 3, and this is where the speakers go in. So maybe you could have your microphone on channel 2. On channel 1 is the guest microphone because you don't want to pass a microphone back and forth because of germs. You can get very sick that way, guys, so take that very seriously. But yeah, I mean, work on a simple one-liner that always works, guys, is friends and family, please direct your attention to ... So an example would be, friends and family, please direct your attention to the front up here, and I give a big old wave so they can see where I'm speaking from, although most of them probably already know. Friends and family, please direct your attention to the front up here. We're going to cut the cake, and then we're going to do first dance, bride and groom, followed by dad and daughter, bride and father of the bride, and then son and mother, groom and his mother. And then after that, guys, it's party time. So direct your attention up here, bride and groom. I'd like to invite you to the front to cut the cake. Those are very gentle words, and it sounded very for real. For 50 people, that's perfect. Direct your attention to the front. That's probably the most formal part. And I'm just a human about it, and I just say, we're going to cut the cake, guys. And then after that, we're going to do all 3 in a row. We're going to do first dance, bride and groom, dad and daughter, so bride and father of the bride, dance. And then son and mom dance, and that's the groom and the groom's mother, and then it's party time. So guys, direct your attention up here. Bride and groom, come on up, guys. We're going to cut the cake. We're going to have some fun. Cut the mic, no big deal. Could that have been said better or more smoothly? Sure. But that's the beautiful thing about getting into weddings that are smaller. You don't blow your budget out. You're prepared with how many songs you have. You know what to do. I just gave you a crash course on it. That's really all you need to know. And if you roughly memorize what I just said, friends and family, direct your attention to the front, and then you just tack on at the end of that sentence whatever you want. Direct your attention to the front. This is the first dance. Friends and family, direct your attention to the side where you can get some goodie bags. Friends and family, this will be my last song of the night. I'd like to thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciated it. If the bride and groom are okay with it, you can promote yourself at that point. I'm available for other parties and weddings. Please keep me in mind. Just come on up. I'm happy to give you a card or my number, or anything you want to say, guys. Friends and family, let's go ahead and raise a glass. Anything you have in front of you there. A toast to the bride and groom. These are the memories we will never forget. It's been a lovely night. Let's make it even better, guys. It's party time. And then all the while I was saying that, I was fading in, I don't know, Good Feelin' by the Black Eyed Peas. At that point, people like to be directed, guys. So at that point, you've directed them. It's party time. They just did a toast. You might even jump right back on the mic and say, grab a drink, grab some cake. It's party time. Some people grab a drink because they're not ready to dance yet. Some people grab some cake. Other people rush right onto the dance floor. And they're more than happy to dance to Good Feelin', Black Eyed Peas, followed by, I don't know, Shake It Off by Taylor Swift, and from there I think you can handle it. Uptown Funk, Twist and Shout, whatever, guys. So there you go. That's how you can have a little side income. That was a long video, but very informative, guys. I hope you take action on that.